Welcome to part 6 of Yugioh metagame discussion. This has been a rough ride, and I do think that this has been probably one of my better discussions that I've had to this point. So, guys, show some love. We do have a lot more to talk about, and oh man, the ride will never truly end. So let's dig on into part 6 of the metagame discussion, shall we? Alright, part 6. We're going to start off with trains. Now, I should have probably tossed this in the section of Gamma Seal or Kaiju beats this deck, but people are still going to be slamming this deck, and people are going to love trains. I mean, let's be real, no matter how much support they get at the end of the day, lots and lots of trains. The deck it's fantastic, and it's going to continue to be a favorite. Now, Super Adora and all of the other fun train stuff that we've gotten, the new Train Link monster right around the corner might fix some of the problems that the deck is going to have in the future. But right now, with an expected resurgence of kaijus because of more slumbers, means that decks that rely on these boss monsters, they're going to have an inherent issue with the game. And I really don't want that to be the case. I want these decks that rely on these boss monsters to succeed. But at the end of the day, it's not going to happen. Like, as much as we want trains to live in today's metagame, the deck will do good at a regional level. I think you might be able to get your invite with it, but not everybody has the mentality to get their invite with a deck. That might not be their goal at the end of the day. If you're planning on going further than top 32, I don't recommend trains to you because of the issues that the deck has. But if you want a very fucking fun deck, lots and lots of trains is the shit. It's my casual deck of choice, actually. Between it and probably some of the other stuff on this list, yeah, I love trains, but deck has its issues. Now, next up on this list is actually going to be zombies. And I had a little bit of a debate with wanting to include zombies in this discussion, because Shiranui just got their next wave of support. Alright, it's fucking great. But at the end of the day, you know, what are zombies actually fucking doing at the moment? Alright, so I've debated on wanting to include zombies in this discussion for a little while, and they just got their next wave of support. So I guess it's only fair that we really kind of give them a slot. So, zombies, what are they doing? Well, not a whole lot of anything. The new structure that came out gave a big push to the zombie world as a deck. New zombie world support means, cool, I can disrupt things. It's kind of like Knuckle Valley in a way. The deck does some really cute stuff every once in a while, then it kind of goes back in a corner. Now, you're strictly a zombie world deck. Like, that's the best engine you have. You know, you still have Mizuki, you still have your general combo extenders, you still have the decent Shiranui engine going for you. Cool. But that's kind of it. Like, at the end of the day, when you fundamentally look at zombies, zombie world's kind of the best thing that they got. And, I mean, I don't mean that to be bad or disrespectful to zombie players. Don't take it that way. But what does your deck do? You know, you were great with combo extending when you could be comboed with Lightsworn. You had the ability to dump, and you could produce larger monsters. That was what the deck was about. It's kind of what Mayakashi tried to do, but it didn't work out too well for them. But at the end of the day, okay, zombies, you have Zombie World. You can beat some of your more roguish matchups, and that's good for you. But you don't really get the ability to... You're kind of where trains are at the moment. You can succeed in some stray events, but until that happens, you know, you're not doing a lot, and that sucks. Because I do love that deck, but at the end of the day, sorry zombies, you're kind of limping around on two legs, and you're not succeeding. Now, next up on this list I want to talk about is Stun. So Stun's in a very awkward position at the moment, because Witch's Strike just came out. Witch's Strike means that if a stun player negates the activation of anything with a Solemn, you're going to get condemned Witch's Strike. I think that this is a bad time to be a stun player that's not Altergeist, or any of the other decks that are kind of an engine. If you're another deck that relies on other good cards like Altergeist, Sky Striker, to, fundamentally act in the stun engine that they are, then that's great. But if you're more of the pure deck, more of Inspector Border, Wings, Fossil Dyna, and things like that, you are using Solemns, and Solemns can get you into some trouble here. Now, because of Condemned Witch's Strike existing now, stun players can't be dumb. And it's kind of the thing I noticed with some stun players. They kind of just let the autopilot take over as they're progressing through their games. You can't let that fucking happen now. You will get Witch's Striked so fast, your head will spin. What do you mean, Robbie? Witch's Strike is going to see play inside decks. There is no fucking reason for it not to. Whether or not it's going to take time for a format to develop for us to want to play Witch's Strike, maybe, maybe not. But strictly based on the card's existence, stun is going to have a shit tier time for the rest of its lifespan. So, thanks guys for making the counter to the counter. I really love the fact that being a stun player and Inspector bordering my opponent and, having to rely on a judgment on that key Twin Twister, and then I judgment, and then I get Witch's Strike. Yeah, just cry myself to sleep every time thinking about that now. It's so bad. Like, you guys don't actually understand. Now, next up on this list is actually, I want to talk about Gravekeepers. Now, Necro Valley is a very good card against our friends at the Thunder Dragon Dome. Now, Thunder Dragons can do some really cheesy things against Gravekeepers. But if Gravekeepers combo up with there can only be one, well, at the end of the day, you might see some soft locks. But unless you build your Gravekeeper deck to include outs to those monsters that they're, those big badass guys that they're stacking over there, that they're setting every turn, you need to be able to capitalize and get over those monsters. Because, yes, Necro Valley can lock the game state, but when you're in a simple game state, you know what wins? The bigger monster. And bigger monsters can be an issue for the average Joe. And it's not a good thing if you're the average Joe, because a lot of your standard Gravekeeper players, I don't know if they understand this, but you can lock the game as much as you want. All right, you can poison the game state with Necro Valley. You can do all that. But your deck still has an issue. You need to have a big beat stick, and you need to have protection to go. Most of the time I'll see Necro Valley with protection, but they're lacking that beat stick, that large monster to help push them to victory is the issue. And I hate to say it, but that's kind of why Gravekeepers they're not succeeding right now. One of these things is missing, and if it's the large beat stick, you just can't go anywhere, Gravekeepers. Like, you're a good deck, don't get me wrong, but because of the issues that you've got, it sucks. Like, Necro Valley is so good, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now, next up is Paleozoic, and I was kind of like, oh, hey, yay, Paleo. Robbie, why do you never talk about Paleo? Okay, Paleo's a great deck, don't get me wrong. It's still trap-based, totally awesome, producing toads. It's fucking cool. It's what your deck does. Now, back row, heavy format, things like that, you have issues with the other decks that do what you do. Sky Strikers, Altergeist, they kind of just do what you do, but better. Toad's a great card, but you'll probably see one Paleo top 32, but until that time comes, you can top 32 an event very easily with Paleo. I will give that to you. I just don't think that the deck is all that great in the grand scheme of things. You're kind of on hot water, and it's not a good thing, but Paleo's it's not strong. I really want the deck to be good, but it has its issues. It sucks, but it does. Now, the last deck I want to talk about for this video is actually going to be Blue Eyes. Chaos Max, you're an asshole. Alright? But once again, you suffer the same issue that the rest of the decks do at the moment. You hear that? That's the sound of a kaiju. Gazira! It's the sound of fucking the turtle dropping down on top of your Chaos Max and outing it. I might be preemptive in thinking that we're going to go into a slightly heavier kaiju format because more slumbers means more kaijus. That might just be crazy talk. We'll have to wait and see for my prediction to come true. But yes, Blue Eyes does sit at the Din Shable. Chaos Max Turbo is great, but more slumbers means more kaijus, means easier outs. So call it what it is, but hey, Blue Eyes, you do you. Stay fresh. That is all I have for part 6 of this video. Please, leave a comment down below. Enable those notifications. Next week after Chicago, we'll tear this all up again and we'll fucking redo it all, talking about the impact of Chicago on the metagame, because I totally look forward to that. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vancol40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.